Alright guys, here is another project that I'm bringing to you. I already started sanding this, but what this is an old junky piece of crap dresser that most people would throw it away. It's eaten up. It's really used and abused. And the story behind this dresser is this belonged to my wife's grandma. And it's sentimental to her. So I'm going to spend the time and the money to sand this completely down. There's a drawer down here at the bottom that is gone. So I'm going to remove that piece that was tacked up there. I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to build a new drawer so that's usable. We're going to have to replace the drawer pulls on the drawers because some of them are missing and broken and whatnot. So we're gonna have to find something that matches in a way and looks good on this piece. And I'm gonna show you step by step. I'm not gonna record the whole thing because, as you know, sanding is a boring thing to watch. It's horrific to do, and it's even worse to watch. So I'm going to turn on the camera here and there and show you the stages and the steps where I'm at. And my intentions is to install a piece that goes down the back side of it to support rails. That's something that this dresser hasn't had. It's had the supports on the sides to hold the drawers, but I want something in the center to guide it in and out and keep them straight, because when these drawers come out, they want to fall down. So that will definitely solve that issue there. But stay with us, guys. Keep an eye on our progress. I think it's going to turn out nice. We shall see. Okay, so far we're getting it down really nice. The top is almost all the way coarse sanded. I did notice that there's some damage that may never come out of here, but that just adds a little character. Here's chipping. Something chipped a big piece, but that's the back side, so we could probably fill that. And we got like this side to do and some of the front. But these little circles here, I'm not sure where they came from, but they look like they're going to stay there unless they come out in the next stage of sanding. But we started getting the front side of it sanded down. That bottom's going to be tricky because it's a intricate piece of molding, and we're going to have to get that down. And Kyler's over here sanding this side, which is coming along nicely. And just a few more stages of sanding, and then we'll be done with the main part of it and ready for staining it. Well, okay, here it is. It's all nice and sanded down. We got the coarse sanding done. It's all the way around. And what we did was we laid in some liquid nails, and we'll clean up the excess, anything that shows. We will clean that up as well. At the back side, I've laid in these pieces and attached them to the dresser so that I can lay in the guides that I'm going to put in each drawer. And plus, this will add a little bit of stability as well. During this next week, of course, I got to work, but I'm going to be cleaning up the areas that we strengthen with the liquid nails and everything. Clean that up, and then we'll do a fine sanding all over the whole thing, and then we'll start sanding it, or we'll start staining it. And these circles here, these are not coming out in the sanding, and pretty soon I'm going to find out what those are from. They almost look like they're evenly spaced out, like something sat there for years or something. I don't know. I asked my wife and she can't remember what those little rings are from, but that's okay. We'll leave them in there. It'll add a little bit of character to the whole unit. Okay guys, it's the next day and I've gone over the very top with a lot of sheets of fine. I've done medium on the sides and the front. This is all I'm going to be doing today because it took me a while to do this. I reshaped all the edges, the round edges. These sides here, they were squared off. They were at a square point, but they were all chipped and scratched and dented and everything. I decided, you know, there's no way I could really fill in all that because it's on a corner and corners get bumped. So what I did was I went ahead and sanded this into a rounded edge. And now both sides are like that, down at that end as well. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow me to have a beautiful edge instead of a chewed up one. Haven't really done anything to the back yet. I'm going to wait till I get all of my guide rails installed. This back piece here, this was a large gouge taken out of the wood. And there's a little bit more that I have to fill in, but it is solid in there and it looks like it's going to hold. This is the back side, so it won't get bumped too much, so I can build it up a little bit. And this area here was even a larger area, but this wood putty is really surprising me. Let me show you a picture of it. Okay, this is the stuff that I bought. It dries almost the same color as the wood on my project. This is by Minwax. It's a stainable wood filler, and that's what I've been using on this project. I just bought this for this project, so it's kind of a new product for me. But to give you an idea, over here there was a large hole here, and now that is just a nice smooth straight piece. And I'm hoping after it's after I stain it, it looks just as beautiful as that. Little imperfections in the wood. Here's dings and dents and things. There's certain markings on it that I'm not going to worry about taking out. This was a nail hole for nailing the top piece onto the frame here, and I had to countersink that with the punch and then fill that hole in. And that was the only one like that. It was probably a repair. And these spots here are still here. I don't know what they're from, and I've sanded it down a little bit, and I'm going to take the fine sandpaper again just to run over the top again before I finish up sanding, because I'm going to clean my entire garage. Then I'm going to wipe this down with a damp tack cloth and get it ready for staining. Now I will show all of you guys the staining process and how I do it, so that way you can critique me or give me advice on how to do my next project even better. Alright guys, next segment, I'm going to show you after it's all done. I'm going to show you the edges that I repaired and see what you think about that. Okay, excuse the flying dust around here. You don't see it in real life, but you definitely do on camera. But anyway, my filled in spots are looking really good. They are turning out really nice. I'm going to go over and do a final fill of all the nail holes. Any natural imperfections of the wood or damage that was done over the years, I'm actually going to leave most of that intact because it does add character. But I'm going to fill in all the little holes, finish up my fine sanding, and then I should be ready to start the cleanup process and starting to prep the wood for staining. And I think so far it's going to turn out wonderful. I think it's going to turn out great. I am going to stain a little back into the wood just in case some of those areas peek out a little bit. There won't be an ugly wood color. But as you can see on the underneath of everything, you can see my liquid nails. And I tell you what, that has really sturdied this up. It used to wobble back and forth. It's rock solid now. So we definitely improved the way it was. As far as the sides, we've done fine sanding over the side points. Everything, there it goes. Everything's turning out nice. My rounded corners are looking beautiful. Like I said, my repairs are going just fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these and let that dry a bit, do a final sand over them, and then we'll be ready to start prepping. Okay, here's the top just before I start staining. Again, these little circles, they're going to stay. I've sanded and sanded this. I might go over it with fine sandpaper one more time just to make sure I'm completely happy with it. But look at this corner. Look at this corner. This is a little lighter than the actual wood, but with the dark stain I'm using, I don't think we're going to have a problem covering that lighter area up. But if you don't remember what this looked like, rewind this video to the beginning and see what I'm talking about. And I'll even give you a shot from the back here. See how nice and flat the edge is? This was broken off, I'd say maybe a quarter, maybe eighth of an inch, quarter of an inch deep. It was very deep into the wood. There's a little nick over here, but now they are just looking perfect. Look at that sharp edge on there. Let me see if I can get a view from this side. Look at that. There's a little raised area there, so a little fine sanding, and that will be back down to flat area. But look how wonderful that turned out. Okay, now prior to doing all the staining, I'm going to be getting the drawers repaired and refinished so that when I stain, I can stain everything at one time and get a uniform color. One thing that these drawers had, these drawers were very abused. They had pieces broken out of them. This whole bottom piece was snapped off, probably from them flopping around, going in and out, just too much for this to handle. But what I've done is I've carefully removed this broken piece here. And what I'm going to do, this was the cover that was down at the very bottom, and other than a little bit of repair work, I see this being a very usable piece to repair this drawer here with. And what I'm going to have to do, see how this is going to fit in there? Okay, it's going to fit in there pretty nice. I mean, it was made the same all the way around. And what this is going to do for me is this is going to allow this drawer to be repaired with its own front, its own faceboard. What I'm going to have to do though is I'm going to have to build a whole new drawer for the bottom piece there that looks a lot like this. I have some router bits that I might be able to recreate this, or at least come close enough to match. But one thing I have discovered is I'm installing these railing systems here to help support the drawers. It's going to work out really nicely, but with all of the proper hardware installed, it's going to cause the drawer to stand out a quarter of an inch. And the solution to that is going to be shaving a quarter of an inch all the way around the face of this drawer. And I'm going to have to do this to every large drawer. But that's okay because most of them are weak up front anyway. So we're going to solve all these holes and cracks, but we're going to cut off a 1/4 inch all the way around, remount the face piece to it, and then we're going to run a small bead of liquid nails around the inside of the drawers just to reinforce the drawers, because I don't want to disturb them too much, but we have to do something to help them out. They're looking pretty sad. So we're going to sand everything down. We're going to fix as much as we can on these old drawers and replace what we cannot fix. So here we go, guys. We're going to start on sanding this drawer down. As you can see behind me, we've got the 2 top drawers almost done. There's a little bit more sanding to do on it, but we've got the top 2 and the next 2 large drawers down. This is going to be for the very bottom here. So we'll go ahead and get started on it. Get my respirator. Okay, so that's all I do for the coarse, and then I switch to medium and fine to do the rest. This is just for stripping, and then we'll smooth it all out. And now I'll go along the edges very carefully with the coarse and strip most of this away, and then I'll do the rest by hand so I don't take too much material off. Okay, this is something I noticed about this piece here that is different from all the rest is the routed edge is much smaller on this piece. It's almost like, you know, my suspicions of this being a handmade piece is absolutely correct. So what I'll do now is I'll take this coarse sandpaper and I will finish sanding the edges down with it. And as you can see, it was real hard for me to keep the sander on this edge. On the other pieces, it was not a problem at all. So definitely a much narrower edge here. Right here at this corner, there's another chewed up piece. I don't know if a dog chewed it up, but there's one of the drawers that I'll be showing you that the corner's so chewed up, it's unsavable, so I have to replace the front piece, which is going to be an adventure. Is it though? It will be, yeah. Just like I was telling. Okay, so now that I've got it all done with coarse, I'm going to switch to the fine. And that's when I'll sand along the top and lower edges to smooth everything out. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill up the holes for the drawer pulls. I'm going to fill them up with my wood filler. And there's a little area here up on top that I need to fill in. And then that will be all that I need to do for this one. This one is actually in pretty good shape. Is it? Okay. So now I got the drawer pull holes filled in. Let that dry, and then we can fine sand that down. And I got this little area here filled in. Okay, so now that I got my drawer pull holes filled in with wood filler and this little area up here, now I'll go through and I will strengthen this with some liquid nails. Yes. Oh. Ooh. Now we have the top two and the bottom three drawers all sanded down, ready to go on the next step. And now we're going to work on the far side. And we'll start off with this long one. We'll work from the bottom up. You do work. You wear clothes that you... Alright guys, I've been recreating drawers, and I've got this piece all cut out. I used my table saw to cut out the pieces, and I used an old drawer face as a guide. And I've cut the sides out. I've cut the bottom part out where the bottom board is going to be. And I cut it out around all the pieces, all four pieces. And here is the back side, just like this. And now I'm going to assemble them. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take these side pieces here and I'm going to drill pilot holes for the nails. First I got to take down a little lip right here, and I'll just take a block of wood with a nice flat edge on it and set it in here and sand it. Just a little nub left there. That should do it. Okay. All right, so here we are, folks. We've got the rough front. We just need a router to go around it and put a similar edge on as this one here has. I don't have anything that will do it yet. So, and we have a nice solid drawer. All right, so I'm just going to fill in a few spots that needs a little bit of wood filler, and then we're going to go on to the next one. Okay, guys, it is another day. There's another day to work on the dresser, and look how far we got. We got all these drawers done. We've got to do a little bit of coarse sanding around the edges and do some fine on it as well. And we've got this drawer done here. This drawer is all redone and ready to rock and roll. And then we have this new drawer that I built, that you guys saw me build, and it is looking really good as well. Some drawer pulls will be nice on here. That'll help me get it out. And look at that nice drawer. Look at how nice that came together. I'm so happy with the work that I did on this. And when it closes, everything is perfectly lined up this way. And it's got a nice little gap that matches the other gaps. So all I need to do is put an edge around there, and then this drawer will be done. Done and ready to rock. So what do you think? Pretty good, huh? Well, I need another drawer. And actually, to be completely honest with all of you guys, this was not the drawer you saw me build. Aha, you say. This is the drawer you actually saw me build. Okay, and the reason why I cannot use this is because when I built this drawer, I didn't take into account for these upper and lower pieces, which are actually the side pieces, to be wider than what I actually needed. So this drawer is a little wide, but that's okay. I got a plan to build a nice coffee table for my front room, and this drawer is going to be the drawer inside that coffee table. So it's not wasted work, not wasted supplies, just going to use it for a different reason. And it's built in the same manner too. Just got to stick an edge around there, and it will be a nice drawer for our coffee table. But anyway, today I'm going to build the last drawer, get it all built, and then I'm going to be doing my sanding and the router work around the edges. I got something that will resemble that, but not be 100%. All right, guys, I won't record me building this other drawer because, you know, you already saw it. When I come back, I'll have everything done, and I'll show you the finished product ready for staining. Well, all right, guys, I am done. I am done with the construction of the drawers. These two here I've replaced. I have built complete brand new drawers for those. I have sanded, repaired, and got the rest of the dresser ready for staining. There's a few areas that I'm waiting for some filler to dry. And check out this edge I did. I don't know if that will come through on the camera, but I did a router edge that is very similar. Let me see if I can get this. It's really hard to see the router edge, but it's really similar to the original, so I'm very happy about that. So this is pretty much going to do it for this part. Part 2 is going to be the staining and glazing of the whole piece. I'm going to do it all at one time. I'm going to set up a table in here and set all the drawers out there so I can stain everything at the same time, get an even coat. And of course I will bring all that footage to you. I want to show you how I do it so that you guys can correct me or give me some advice. Alright, so what I did was I reduced it down to just one drawer pull per drawer. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to use as much of the original material as I could. And the only way I could do that is to do one drawer pull, because there were some that were missing and some that were missing parts to it. So I have enough to put one on each drawer. So that's what I decided to do. And I already drilled all the holes for that so that I don't have to do that after it's stained. All right, guys, if you haven't done so already, subscribe, like the video, and don't forget to ring the bell so you know when part 2, the finished product, is going to be out for you. Thanks for watching Cobra Vids. We'll see you on the next one.